Mental health, a person's condition with regard to their physiological and emotional well-being. There is a lot of mental health that surrounds us in our day-to-day lives now. Mental health has many forms, including anxiety and depression. Anxiety is a feeling of worry, nervousness or unease about something with an uncertain outcome, but can also be a mental condition where this feeling takes over your body. Depression is feelings of severe despondency and dejection, but could also become a mental health condition and cause suicidal thoughts. Social media has grown immensely over the past few years, and with that brings new problems. Cyberbullying as well as online triggers can make mental health worse, but being able to communicate and use online counselling such as Childline is a positive. I plan to look into how social media can make mental health better or worse, the pros and cons, as well as talking to people from all different generations to see their opinion. Have you had any personal experience with anxiety, and if so, why? Do you think there's anything in particular that triggers it?
Yes, I think peer pressure at school was the main thing, because you're kind of forced into doing things that maybe you don't want to.
Do you think the use of social media has affected mental health in terms of it being more prevalent now than back when your parents were younger?
Yes, social media has developed in the last couple of years widely. We can access more things such as, like Facebook and Twitter. We can talk to each other a lot more easier rather than face-to-face meet up, which is a good thing but can lead to negative.
Would you say that social media has a good or bad influence on mental health, and why?
It's a bit of a mix, because you just need to watch out for who you talk to and who you talk to online.
During the interview I had with Mandy, she talked a lot about how social media is a double-edged sword with good and bad points, where we can communicate and stay in contact, but we can lose our natural social skills, which makes it hard to communicate in real life. This can also develop social anxiety. Mental health has definitely become more prevalent now than back when she was younger. Have you had any personal experience with anxiety, and if so, why? Do you think there's anything in particular that triggered it?
Yeah, I have, and it's mainly triggered by the feeling that people are going to judge me for something. I think that because obviously a lot of people have had past experiences that they have a hard time with, sometimes that carries on through the future, and it can be hard, but yeah.
Have you had any personal experiences with anxiety, and if so, why? Do you think there's anything in particular that triggers it?
For me, I get quite nervous at certain things. I started a new job a while ago, and it was just really stressing me out. I was just trying to keep up with everybody else and be the best I could, but I was putting too much pressure on myself. In the meantime, I've now started another job, but this is more in my comfort zone, so I went into it with a much more chilled out outlook, and it's working for me.
Would you say that social media has a good or bad influence on mental health, and why?
It can be good because it influences people to talk to one another. It makes, it can help with counselling, that kind of thing, but a lot of the time it forces people to think badly of themselves. They want to look like someone else, that kind of thing.
Have you had any personal experiences with anxiety, and if so, why? Do you think there is anything in particular that triggers it?
Yeah, I have had personal experience of anxiety. I used to get quite a lot of anxiety at school. I think a lot of people get anxiety at school. I think it's because of, I think anxiety gets better as you get older because you have more experience in dealing with it, and I guess school is probably quite a demanding environment. It's probably the first demanding environment you put into, and I think that's probably why I suffered with a bit of anxiety at school.
Would you say that social media has a good or bad influence on mental health, and why?
I think that it's good in the respect that people are out there and they're being honest about it. but I also think that there are some people out there that are just possibly jumping on a bandwagon. And I think that you have to realise that, like I said before, it's not about, everybody's life isn't that great all the time, and you've got to stop, people have got to stop comparing themselves to everybody else and just be the best you can be of yourself.
I think social media has a bad impact on anxiety. I think it's probably one of the major contributing factors to anxiety of young people these days. I think, you know, obviously there's good parts to social media, but I think personally, I think the bad parts of social media outweigh the good parts massively.
During my research, I found that isolation and insecure attachment can be major leads to poor mental health, especially anxiety and depression. I also found that the visual part of the brain could have a major effect on poor mental health. I've struggled with anxiety and depression for a long time, and through multiple counselling sessions and medication, I still have points where I feel down. I personally find that social media does make my mental health worse, but I'm honestly addicted and I couldn't see myself not using it on a daily basis. Have you had any personal experience with anxiety, and if so, why? And do you think there is any particular thing that triggers it?
Well, I have in the past, but not recently. Yes, I have had anxiety, and I've had medication for it at times, but that was years ago. I'm okay now.
And do you think the use of social media nowadays has affected mental health in terms of being more prevalent now, more than when you were younger?
Yes, I do, yeah.
Is there any reason why you think that?
Well, yes, because everybody's into one another's affairs all the time on their iPhones and the iPads and stuff, and I think there is too much of that now.
And would you say that social media has a good or bad influence on mental health, and why?
Bad.
Why?
Well, bad because there's a lot of bullying and stuff like that goes on.
I think the use of social media has affected mental health in terms of it being more prevalent now more than back when you were younger.
I think there's far more pressures on people with social media, definitely. I think it's opened up lots of areas where people can be targeted, stress can be added, and therefore, you know, ends up with stress and mental health problems, yes.
And would you say that social media has a good or bad influence on mental health, and why?
It has a good factor in as much as there's more awareness of it. But as you know, I said, the bad factor for me is that it's open to abuse against people, and that can cause quite serious mental health. So really, it's good and bad, and I don't really. I think possibly at this moment in time, the bad outweighs the good.
Overall, I found it obvious that the older the person I interviewed, the more they thought social media was bad for mental health. From Olivia, Tammy and Mandy, who all said there are good parts to it, to Andrew, Amanda, Pamela and Sylvia, all thought that social media was a negative. I think this may be due to how they were raised, as the older generation didn't experience social media when they were growing up, but as young adults, it's all we've known. Personally, I do think that social media does make mental health worse, but the research shows that isn't always the case. As Mandy said, it's a double-edged sword with good and bad points.